Namaste everyone. Sitaram. Been asked to give a formal introduction, so before I do that, just a small minor announcement. After the discourse is done, if you could please not touch Parbatee Maa or if you can touch her feet, just say Namaste from a distance, that would be greatly appreciated. So when we think of a holy person, a saint, a sadhu, a guru, we think it is someone living in an ashram in India, probably in the Himalayas. While that description isn't untrue, we have somehow come to associate sadhness, holiness, sainthood with others, as in it is something that happens to other people. People perhaps uniquely gifted, probably born with such a gift. But why isn't such a thing possible amongst us? Why can't it happen to one of us? And why just stop at that? Why is it not possible within our own selves? If we sincerely ask this question to ourselves, we are guaranteed to find a way forward to experience our own divinity. Imagine that. Whether we believe it or not, each one of us is divine, not because some book says it, but because that is how the creative intelligence that created this universe, that is the same intelligence that created us. All of you know Mrs. Parbatee Maa as a friend, a sister, a colleague in this temple's executive, an aunt, and so forth. Over the years that you have all known her, her physical form has remained the same. She has not switched bodies. Everyone can vouch for that. But something has happened. Something has changed. She is now Sri Parbatee Maa, and more importantly, Ma, because something wonderful has happened to the person we all once knew. I am giving her introduction, but in order for anyone to do so, one must know the other person well. I can surely say that I have known her for n number of years. I have known her immediate family, I have known her extended family, and so on. But what is knowing someone else? I know my parents, I know my wife, my children, but to what extent do I know them? Do I know how and what my father thinks? Or what my wife thinks? Or what my daughters feel inside themselves? Surely not. All we can really know of another person is what our own experience is and has been with that person. Using that experience, we say things like, so-and-so is good or bad or funny or whatever. Without this personal experience, it is impossible to say anything about anyone. So the only extent to which I can introduce Parbatee Maa is to talk about my own experience with her over the years. I often used to visit my Sadguru, Sri Nandini Maa, while she was still in her body. Parbatee Maa, who is also Maa's disciple, visited her often. One day, Sri Nandini Maa said that we, her disciples, should go and sit with Parbatee Maa and do meditation in her presence. At that time, Ma was still in her body, so of course, the only place we wanted to meditate collectively was in Ma's presence. After Ma left her body, however, that was in 2011, Parbatee Maa started the Divine Contact to introduce people to meditation. During this time, I started to notice that whenever I was around her, I would experience a meditative state. At first, I wasn't sure if it was because of her, but as it started to happen more and more, there remained no doubt about the experience. One can doubt words, but not one's own experience. As my own appetite for spiritual progress became progressively intense, so did my experiences in her presence. Recently, I experienced something in her presence that I wish I could experience in my daily practice. But this has been my own personal experience. I am only verbalizing it here because I do not know more than this. I do not know more than this, that something wonderful is working within her and through her. Because her presence enables me to experience some of my own divinity, some of my own wonderfulness. Today you will hear her words. Let them settle within yourselves. But then, crave the experience that those words promise. The experience can be yours, and not as a favor to you, but because that is how each one of us has been created. Our life is a possibility to attain that, knowing which all else is known, all else is experienced as one's own self. Parbatee Maa's work is her presence. Her presence is also her instruction. Her presence is also her blessing. Just presence. So, please don't stop at her words alone. Allow yourselves to experience her presence. Thank you for listening and this opportunity. May the blessings of the divine that sits within you be upon you all.
Thank you, Shishman. Very good introduction. I'd like to call Pandit Mahendraji to you afterwards. So before I hand over the program to you, I have something here for Parbatee Maa that we plan to present to her as a surprise during our Diwali program. She didn't show up, so I got surprised. So I'm going to surprise her today. This is a lifetime recognition award for Parbatee Devraj Singh. And the award says, North Texas Hindu Mandir wishes to express our sincere appreciation for your contributions that have helped us to acquire this mandir and for your service on our board of trustees, on our executive committee, and president and vice president of this mandir. Our eternal blessings for your generosity. Thank you. And with that, I will hand you over.
Thank you very much, Nishan. So I greet you, Namaste. Namaste. My honorable regards to Panditjis, Pandit Mahendra, Pandit here. My respect to you all. And I say Namaste to all who knew me as Sister Parvatee, so I say my Namaste to you. I also say hello to everyone who I don't know or know. And let's go on. Now, when Mishan Pai told me to come and speak of something, it's like, what can I speak of, you know? Spirituality is about the spirit. So, it has to do something that's transcendent. It has to be something within us. Now, we do all the puja and all the mantra and everything in order so that we could also experience the Atma within us. So, our great scriptures speak of that, you know, and it's something that you have to experience. So all of this that we do is leading up to that experience. We've been here in this earth at this time right now, but we've been here before. And it's our impressions from our last life that has brought us to the mandir. It's something we did before. We did it before, and it has brought us like glue, like magnet, to do it again. So we must continue that journey, but we must also don't think that this is all there is to it. So the most important thing is to inspire yourself to know more or to experience more. It's like, how do I say it? It's a very difficult thing to explain, but all we do here is leading up to something. It's leading up to something. So let me say that we will continue to talk, but before I want to say more further, I would like you all to sing that song so that I will see what comes after you sing. So sing that song, the Mashardi song. This I made for kids. Kids who want a little bit of English. You know, when they come, they listen to the bhajans and they say they wish they would know English. So these girls have learned this song. So do sing it, and then I'll go on to more things about the path of transformation and the way of the Creator. Parbatee Maa within your own self, then you can get knowledge. But what knowledge do we all need? We have knowledge in books, knowledge of society, knowledge of how to live a good life, of how to have a relationship with each other. And so there are many different kinds of knowledge. So most of the knowledge we attain is with each other from Google, right? It's knowledge that we can relate to. So if I say something that you have not experienced, then we can't communicate, you know. I'll tell you this little joke. I used to be in computer programming, right? So you know, computer programming has different languages, you know. You have C++, you have Visual Basic, you have COBOL, you have many different languages, okay? So this person, the client came and, you know, told him, well, look, I want you to fix this program for me. The developer looked at it and said, oh, but I don't know this language, you know. The client didn't understand. So he said, okay, well, you know, I know English and Spanish, but it's like saying I know English and Spanish and you're telling me to do Chinese. So the client said, okay. He left. Few days passed and he got a call from one of his fellow developers saying, well, you know, so and so, that's the client, called me and he said, if I know Chinese, why would he ask me about Chinese, you know? So in a way, it's a literal thing. He was understanding a literal thing. He wasn't understanding that it's a different language and he cannot say it, he cannot program in that language. He probably knows C++ and the thing is in COBOL or something, right? So language is one of the things that ties us up. You know, language is important to communicate. But in terms of true spirituality, you go beyond words. So for our transformation, we have to go beyond words. Words are higher than, I guess. Because why? Because of the mind. As we grow, you know, yoga, the ancient rishis, the ancient people, they give us the Vedas. And in order to explain this complicated thing, it's like, what language do I use? So they used the language of our nature also, our natural self. You see, the chantings, the mantras, comes from inside. So how did they come up with the mantras and everything? It's from going within himself. So where do you go to find the source? It's within our own self. So in the days of the rishis, in the ancient times, the sages would go into deep meditation, and then they would come and say what it is. The people, they don't have books at that time, right? So they would learn it inside themselves. They would learn it and they would transmit it by talking about it. So it would be like a sage and disciples and people coming around, and they would say these things and they would learn it. And so it was done over the many years. So years and ages. So sometimes, you know, over the ages, sometimes people might not be hearing the right thing, but these things that are recorded came from within. And so how are they going to explain? It's like a different language to explain the complexities of the human dilemma going into the divine. So we have to go from human to divine. So within us, it's a capability for all of us. Once we take human birth, this is a capability for everyone. But it's like knowing what to do. Now, there are many gurus out there who are practicing and telling you to do many techniques because it is something that is connected to all the layers of the body. You know, like the Panditjis would have had lectures on the different layers of the body, you know. The food layer. Now I don't speak Hindi, so I don't know those words, but I know it's the Anamaya Kosha. I don't know if the Pandits will have to excuse me. You know, they're the different layers of the body. And at the seat of all the layers lies the Ananda, the spiritual, the Atma. Surrounded by the Atma is the layer, is the Anand layer, the bliss layer. So it's kind of peeling an onion. You know, there are different layers, except the layers are not separated. They are intermingled with each other, right? So that is why they came up with different kinds of yoga. We have karma yoga, we have hatha yoga, we have many different kinds of yoga. And the modern yoga has nothing to do with the real yoga. It has a little bit, right? But remember, your body has to be prepared because something within you changes, something different happens. It's like suddenly you are experiencing things that you did not experience before. So it is within us. When we are created, there's a spark of this divine energy that's left within us. We are all created. When the baby is here, it's born, it starts here. The creation starts here. And it goes and creates the whole nervous system, the brain and the nervous system. So this energy creates, this is divine energy. It's created and the baby is created. And that energy lays asleep within you. And it is the divine energy that allows you to breathe, allows you to eat, allows you to chew your food, allows you to think. It is divine. So therefore we are divine. But we have accumulated all these layers of filth in our body that has to be erased. And this whole procedure is about purifying the body. So all yoga, all chanting, everything. Well, there is some chanting that is in praise of the great Creator. So those are the things we just praise God. Some of the things we just praise. But there are mantras, the different mantras, they clean different areas of the body. So it isn't something you can see, but it is within us, and we are not aware of it. But when this divine energy is awakened, then we start to feel something different within ourselves. And so, you know, all the gods here, they have different mudras, right? So that is a clue on what happens within us as we start to transform. And this transformation is the way of the creation, the way of the Creator. So it's like you came on earth for a party and you're ready to go home now. How would you go home? You have to go within yourself. So all the different yogas are processes that the ancients have created, even the puja. Now, you know, we come here and we worship the Murti, but then you have to, as a way of expressing this, as a way of telling you how to grow, you don't have to do it. Take the Murti, put it in your heart, and go home. So that Ram, that Krishna, that Durga, go reside here. So if they open your heart like Hanumanji, what would they see? They would see that God. So it is within each of us. And so there are certain mantras that do different certain things in the body. And people repeat mantras and they get siddhis, you know, they get power. But that isn't what yoga and meditation is about. So if we look at the world today, that has really realized God. We read the books of the saints and the sages, and they try to explain an unexplainable thing. You know, if you've read some of the books, like, have you all been inspired by, say, Vivekananda? But who was Vivekananda's guru? You see, it comes down to that. The great ones have all had a guru. So guru is the magic word. It's like the magic of the universe, and when it was created, the magic of the guru is also created. People cannot understand what is guru, they think it's just a person, but the guru is much more. So in order for us to totally transform, we have to one day, in one lifetime, go and sit with a great Paramatma, or great Atma, a guru. And it is written in all the books. It is, the Gita is a synopsis of what the Vedas are really. So it talks about all the yogas, and so from that we get inspiration. But that when you're ready to move forward and you can inspire yourself and do a little bit of sadhana, so you will start your journey. So a guru can tell you what sadhana is right for you. You know, a God-realized guru. Now, many people think, well, you don't need a guru. Well, I'll say this. It's like, we go to school, right? First we go elementary school, then we go to secondary school, then we go to college. Then, after that, we do our bachelor's, right? And we might say, okay, that's enough for us to get a job. And then we might say, no, we want to do our PhD, right? So which professor do we go to? We go to one that has done, like if you're studying biology, you go to a professor who is doing biology, who studied it, who has completed it, and who has his own PhD, so that you would understand that. As I was growing, I never understood the concept of the guru. So that is one thing at least, if you don't understand or you don't accept, you have to keep going until one day a guru comes in front of you, because it is written that when you are ready, the guru comes in front of you. So all of this is you are conditioning yourself like to be like a receptor, so that when you are plugged into the guru is a transformer. The guru transforms your life. It transforms your body. It transforms you. So all this was learned through the experiences of the sages. Yoga occurred spontaneously. Pranayama occurred spontaneously. The great saints, all the music and all the bhajans and kirtan came from such beings that experience. So each word is very powerful. A word is very powerful. In our day-to-day business, we say the word peace, then from you say peace, you feel good. If somebody, they say something hurtful, it creates a hurtful thing within your system. So that's not a good word. So the mantras, they go at a higher level. The mantras, they go, I would call it the subtle body or the astral body. They go and they clear that. See, I never did technical study. So I am from the Caribbean, like most of you all, right? Caribbean, South Africa, we was born in India. We were born somewhere else, right? So, isn't that a good thing? You see, you don't have to be born in India. You don't have to go to the Himalayas. You don't have to go to Lords. You don't have to, you don't have to go anywhere. You have to go within yourself. And that's the final thing. So, first you have puja, you have singing of the kirtan. You do yoga to purify your physical body, because the body has to be able to hold this divine energy when it's awakened. If you have a body that you can't hold it, well then there are problems. It's like if the body can hold 100 watts of power, this energy is 1,000 watts of power. So purification is necessary, and keeping the body clean, keeping the body like a temple. Like how you do all this thing here, you have to think about your body as the old temple. You have to give it good food, the right kind of food, right? You have to give it enough water, you have to exercise, and you must do sadhana. Now, if we look at the world today, all of people who have gotten some kind of realization and if we follow, they have done meditation. The Buddha, for years, he left home. He had a guru. And he traveled all about. And he was ready to give up. And he sat under the tree and he got enlightenment. So that was his thing, sitting under a tree in Dhyan. So if we say this earth is a school, the last class to graduate in is Dhyan, is meditation. So the yoga that we do is to clear and purify the body. And there are things, the greatest, we can all do that, right? But the greatest thing that we can't work on is the mind. It's the mind that drives us. The mind is what we have. So in the Gita, see, Arjuna and Krishna, by the way, the president of this mandir says, Hare Krishna, so Krishna wants to give this message, He's a great devotee of Krishna. So, it's like, in the Gita, Arjuna and Sri Krishna's conversation. In that conversation, Arjuna, he gets to know who Sri Krishna really is. Just before he's in a dilemma to fight this war. In a yogic sense, this is the battle of the mind. In a yogic sense. It's a battle of the demons of the mind that tells you this and it wavers. This is not good, this is good. And it's like, if you can have a space, if you can have a piece of consciousness, then the mind wouldn't rule you. When you go to bed, you could fall asleep like that. So the deepest, highest yoga is the purification of the mind. And the mind is like, it needs meditation to clear that mind. Because what causes the mind, in a normal mind, there are different layers of the mind, you would call it. You have the intelligence. You have the things that's stuck in here. The mind oscillates, it vacillates, it just keeps moving, just like everything in the world is moving. So, in order to calm the mind, you have to go within. And these vastness or impressions that we have from lifetime to lifetime, that rises, And it's like, that keeps us doing the action that we do. We do this action, we do that action, And so, that's the real fight there. And the battlefield of Arjuna and Krishna, it's significant in 2 dimensions. In this world, it's a constant battle every day. You get up every day, you might say, oh, the weather is not good, but it's your frame of mind will tell you if the weather is good or not. Like I say, the weather is good. I'm good. So it's our frame of mind. And what decides our frame of mind? It's what's hidden within us, right? Our own database. So it's like we've got a Google database and we have it within us. And whatever emotion or action comes, the mind brings that to the top. And so we act on that. So if we can clear our insides, then we would have the right action. We would have the right procedure. So at the end of it all, meditation is the last class. So even Christ, when he was touched by John the Baptist, are there any Christians here? You know, religion is, I don't look at religion as religion, okay? But I'll say that. It's only when John the Baptist baptized Christ that he went into the desert for 40 days. So what was happening to Christ in that 40 days? That's the question. What was happening to Buddha on that tree? So he was in the forest, right? So when Moses went on a hill, okay, what happened to him there? He was on a mountain. So you see, nature is very important when you're doing sadhana. Going out into nature is very important because it cleanses us, it keeps us back into nature. So this is a lot of information because it's hard to know what it is you really want to know. But this is like the key to transformation. But I will say one more thing. When we come to the temple, how we take part in the service is another thing. If you're sitting there and your mind is going 20 miles per hour, then it's like you didn't do anything. So how can you sit and be part of the service so that it would benefit you to clear yourself, to clear all that clutter that's inside, you know? Because it comes on us daily, and there are many things in our past life. But this introduction here is not the place to go deep into the science of the self, the science of yoga. It's, that's a very complex thing to explain. So the simple thing is, how can you proceed, right? What would you want to know? Anybody? What question do you have? Like, what would you want to know? Nobody has a question? Nishan Bhai? I'll ask you. What question do you have so that I can answer something to that effect? Because I'm going all over the place to explain it because it's a very mixed crowd here. Okay, somebody has a question.
Pertaining to energy and when life began, can you tell us, according to you, when exactly does life begin?
Well, you only know time. Your perception of time is that time has time. Your perception of time is that something is now. See, time is relative. Time is relative. It's like you born now and you die. So what sense of making knowing when it began? Because you will begin again and you will end again. So how would you explain that? You cannot explain time. So to answer that question, you will have to go within your own self to find that answer. Because time is really something we made up. The Atma is eternal. There's no time constraint with the Atma. So you would say, okay, scientists would say how many billions of years the world was created. But what was there before that? Can your brain take that? No. Your brain cannot take what it was there before. So in that concept, it is a matter of when and where, how you can understand. So you understand your time right now. You might say I'm avoiding the question, but you see, you have to understand time itself. You have to understand what infinity is. Infinity means it never dies, and it never in Brahman, everything is spirit in Brahman. Nothing is born, nothing dies. There's nothing there, nothing, and then something comes. It is said that the first thing that comes is the word. Word comes from an idea comes within. So you will go to that eternal question, but what can you know with your little brain? You cannot know with your little brain, you see? So time is only relative. You can say, hey, Or you could say, okay, so many billion years it began. But what was there before it began? Was there another universe? And that one collapsed and another one was born. So then, how many billion years that took? And was there one before that? How many years that took? You know, so those kind of questions is really the mind thing. It's the mind going like that. You know? So that's the thing.
I'll rephrase the question. You know the soul has no time, infinite, does not die or be born.
Mm-hmm.
So to rephrase the question, when, at what point during our birth process, creation, does the soul enter the body?
Well, I'll tell you, many yogis have different answers. Right? So which answer you want?
What you believe.
I have not done the yoga on when I entered my body, so I cannot give you that answer. But people can do that and know when the soul enters. It says it's 3 months or whatever, right? Some says it's 3 months. So we'll stick to 3 months, right? Yeah. So the thing about it is, you know, knowing that, how is that going to benefit you? I ask you. How is that going to benefit you?
It makes a world of difference in today's world when people have this great thing about gender selection, especially in our motherland of India and China, where infanticide is so great, where gender selection is very purely to get rid of.
Well, that's something that we have to do as a society, right?
Correct. And in this society, the basic question we have today is when, at what point, did the unborn child, which society refuses to call it a child, they call it a fetus, because they can't put a time when the soul entered the body.
But see, from my point of view, everything is sacred. That fetus is as sacred as the soul. So why stop there? Everything is part of Parabrahma. Everything is Brahman. So differentiating it, what does that do? That makes our mind feel good, but does it change it? It does not change it. It does not change the action. What is the right action? It does not. Everything is divine. There's not a scrap molecule in the universe that's not divine. So if you go to that extreme, you can't kill anything and you can't eat anything. So how far will you go? You see? So this is the battle of Arjuna and Krishna. How far will you go? How far? So it is our action and our sadhana to do what's right for us. We cannot change the world like this. You do what you have to do in order to realize yourself. And that is the biggest message. Because what you know now, you will feel different after knowing. So I will tell you, don't worry about that. Do sadhana, do meditation, and you will find the answer you're looking for. Right? Because I could say that this is good and this is bad. But from my standpoint, I have no judgment of what is good and what is bad. Okay? Death is but rebirth. Okay? So that's the thing. How do you see the world is what your own perception is. And what your perception is what's in you. So if you have strength within yourself, you can give strength. If you have love within yourself, you can give love. If you have divine energy within you, then you can give divine energy. It is all about what you accumulate. It's your vessel. Your vessel is like this. It's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything, right? So, how do you get rid of the things that you want? So that is the question, really. It comes down to that. And if the world as it is have so many different minds, some are living on the basal. I'll divide the human body into 3 sections. Okay? I'll say from the bottom to here. That we live in our basal instinct. We want food, clothes, shelter, sex, whatever. That's our basic nature. We have to have that need. So civilization was like that, where man, history does not lie, man was like that, right? Primitive in culture, there was no morality, there was all this dirtiness, and there were plagues. That's history. Man has risen. Now man is from here to here, right? So that's the other stage of man developing. That's where you have Christ came as a teacher, people began to change. Now the Vedas have already been here all the time, but we live in different parts of the world. So we have different cultures, we have different education, we have different levels of understanding. So man became more compassionate, Do not steal, cheat, lie, do bad things. In other words, don't do these things. And do these things. Be kind. Smile. Be helpful. Do something good. Right? So we're told this is what we don't do, and this is what we do. So, and then, when you express your love and you give something with real love, it is the greatest thing. If you can give somebody something without any expectation, that's real love. So you work here. So all we're doing is working here. Right? We're working from here to here. So we sing nicely, the throat chakra is clear. So people who sing sweetly, who talk sweetly, they're saying something, but sometimes their mind isn't clear. The mind, where is the mind in the body? The mind is everywhere. Right? So spirituality is from here onwards. In terms of divinity, when all this is clear, the final clearing is through that dhyan. And this is the place that you focus in dhyan. But you have to do that only if you have a guru. Because the guru does something for you. There are 3 locks in the body, and the guru clears those locks. So, that is why, now the greatness of the guru I have not talked yet. So, I think that's a lot of information, so let's have some kirtan. And in order for the kirtan to be fruitful, you must take part in it, right? Kirtan is a very powerful thing, and the way it's done is important also. It's not just singing, it's how you sing. It's the emotion in it, it's how you pronounce, and it's your bhav. Okay, so when you come to the mandir and what is that? Better you stay home, Also, there's a stage when you can't sing, but nobody here in that stage yet. So, okay, then you're in the Atma. So, how do you take part in the kirtan? The way the kirtan is sung, the way the musician is set up, everything, there's a science to everything. The way, and the thing is, it's never in loudness. God is right here. You don't even need mic. But some people like to listen, some people like to take part. Taking part is what's going to purify you, and people who take part know it. Right? Don't you all know it? It's like you're in heaven already, halfway in heaven, right? So, how about Hare Krishna? I think our president is praying to me Krishna all the time now. After that, I'll talk about the greatness of the Guru. We got only 10 minutes. Wow, time has flown. Okay, if I can't talk about it, it's okay, but let us have some singing. Let us have some divine energy. So let's go. Anybody here meditate? Anybody here meditate? Anyway, you know, the body, or what we think of the body is different. You know, there are many little things about the body that you will learn as you grow. And that's how the yoga came about. For example, let's do an experiment. I got 5 minutes. Right? Let's do an actual experiment. Okay, everybody take a, just put your hands like this, close your eyes, and just breathe normally, and observe. Okay, just breathe normally. Okay, observe. Okay, now take your hand and put it this way. And close your eyes and breathe and observe. You have to put it on your body. And close your eyes and observe the breathing. What does it feel like? Now, do it back the other way. Put your hand like this, and then breathe. Okay, anybody feel the difference? When you're this way, you can breathe. When you're this way, your breathing changes. You can't breathe, right? Your breathing is different. So that's one small thing. Now here's another exercise. Take your tongue and put it at the top of your mouth. Okay, and think about something, anything. Can you think? What thoughts are coming? You can't think, right? Can you think anything? What's coming? Nothing. Okay, so those are the things that the yogi knows about their body. See? Those are simple things. Breathing. Why do you hold this mudra? Why not hold this mudra? See, this is very important too. When you're learning meditation, it's very important to hold this finger. Now, there's a difference when you hold it like this and when you hold it like this. There's a difference. So, if you don't know that, that's what the guru is there for. The guru is a yogi. The guru has done all those things. They have experienced those things, so they can help you. There are many gurus that you can't even come near to them. They're from far. So, whenever you can meet someone who you can be in their company, who can make you feel inside, who can teach you something, that's when you say you have God's grace. So I was fortunate to have God's grace. I grew up loving God with all my heart, and I grew up. And it doesn't matter where you are. If you really want to inspire yourself to move, to understand the universe, to understand who you are, to understand the body and how it works, to understand your own self, to find the bliss of the Atma, you have to inspire yourself daily and do your sadhana, whatever it is. Every guru has done their sadhana. That's how they become a guru. And the guru is not just a person. The guru is the path of knowledge. It's the path of light. It comes and it flows from the guru, a real sadguru. So I was fortunate to meet my guru because it was my time. So whether you live in the boondocks of Africa, or the Caribbean, or in India, in Trinidad, in Guyana, in South Africa, it does not matter where you live. When you are ready, the guru will come. The guru will appear. I was very fortunate to meet other gurus in my life as I was growing, and it was a result of this great mandir. So this mandir can be a great stepping stone to your own personal growth. But you see, what kind of bhakti you come in the mandir with is one thing. And what it is we're doing here, if you don't understand, then you don't progress. This is the part of the householder. But you see, you need everything in your life to expand your consciousness. So you need all the yogas, not just the puja. So this is like a formula. This is where you begin. And so the formula have to add certain things, and you must have that strong, firm faith that this creator, this magnificent force that has created the human being and the thousands of planets, millions, I'm saying thousand, billions of life forms, billions, that created intelligence is within us also. And it's just us who have to work on ourselves in order to go forward. So nobody is inadequate and nobody is greater than anybody. For me, I have no name. Yes, I call this, I call that. But so whatever name you call me, that is my approach to you. I will become that relationship with you. So if you come and you approach me as a sister, I will be your sister. If you approach me as a mother, I'll be, you'll be you. So names are important in our path also. But for someone who is absorbed a lot of time, they don't feel like they have a name. They don't feel like, they have a name. So, but we have to have names. So don't let my name be a hindrance to your sadhana. Let it be an inspiration. Be inspired. So I know it's almost time, but I didn't get to say about the Guru. So maybe whoever wants to know will find me, and I can explain more, because there's only so much knowledge that can be given in a forum like this. Only when people are wanting to know more, that more will come. So, I guess I'll end it because people are probably hungry, right? But let's do 5 minutes of dhyan, right? We'll go off. Vishal, is it okay? Can we do 5 or 10 minutes of dhyan and finish the program? 5 minutes?
Let's go to the RT because I know there's some folks need to catch a plane after this.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, the thing is, when you do RT, it's gonna null the thing, right? So let's just close our eyes for 5 minutes. Okay? You close your eyes, and you just breathe. If you want, you can take the God and put them in your heart. Who has Guru and know how to meditate, you meditate there. You meditate wherever, in your third eye, whatever. And everybody else just, according to your belief, you just sit and breathe, or you think of God with love and then you relax. If you have a mantra, you say it. well, you can do your arati, but this is more important than arati actually. Okay.
Swami to